Hello students, welcome to commerce classes. Now in the video series for amalgamation, absorption and external reconstruction, we are now starting with the technical terms. An understanding of the technical terms is very essential for solving practical problems. Reason being, in the practical problems we will be given many terms like all liabilities or reserves or accumulated losses or funds. So we need to know what these terms imply and how to adjust these terms or account for these terms. Like take the case of this balance sheet. This is a balance sheet of Bhavya Limited on a particular date, 31st March 2017. Suppose this company is to be sold off. Now we are finding a set of liabilities as well as various assets with the company. So if this company is to be sold off, if it is to be wound up, then it is to dispose of all assets and pay off all liabilities. And suppose we are given that the purchasing company takes over all assets. Now what do we mean by the term all assets? Does it imply all tangible, intangible and everything which is coming here? Or does it include only say tangible assets or maybe current assets only? Or when we say that the company is taking over say current liabilities, so does it imply all these liabilities? Does it have something which is showing here but which is not a liability? Or if we are given that the company is to take over only trade liabilities, then out of all these liabilities, what are trade liabilities? So we need to know the technical terms like all assets, all liabilities, trade liabilities and reserves, funds, etc. So now we are taking up technical terms. Our first term in the series is business. Now the term business implies the complete business, that is the entire business undertaking. So it will include all assets and all liabilities. So when we are given that the purchasing company is to take over the business of vendor company, then it implies purchasing company is taking over all assets and all liabilities of the vendor company. Now this takes us to another two terms, all assets and all liabilities. Now effectively the term all assets include all assets, whether non-current or current investments, etc. But it excludes one particular category of assets, that is fictitious assets. So let me repeat it again. The term all assets include all non-current assets, that is both tangible and intangible. So even goodwill, patents, copyrights, investments, they are all included here. So if all assets are taken up, then all fixed assets, then all current assets. So for all assets, even the current assets will include cash and bank balance. So even cash and bank balance will also be taken up if your question says all assets are taken up. However, looking at the asset side, it will include non-current assets, current assets, everything in that, but it will not include fictitious assets. Now the fictitious assets usually appear at the end of the current assets with the name other current assets. Like in the example, in current assets, after the assets we have others, which includes preliminary expenses, cost on issue of debentures, discount on issue of shares or debentures, or accumulated losses in the form of advertisement suspense account. So fictitious assets are not included in the list. So all assets will include technically all assets but not fictitious assets. And the reason is quite simple, because fictitious assets are not really assets. They are just accumulated expenses or losses which haven't been written off till now. We are not able to write off these losses till now. So being a debit balance, it is appearing on the assets. So the accumulated expenses or losses appearing on the assets head as fictitious assets will not be included. These are the losses. So the equity shareholders of the company, that is equity shareholders of the liquidating company, are to bear this loss. So all fictitious asset accounts they will be transferred to equity shareholders account on the debit side, because losses decrease the claim of shareholders. So all the fictitious assets will be cancelled in the equity shareholders account, whereas all remaining assets are to be settled. Settlement implies that since the company is now being liquidated, so all the assets are to be disposed of in one manner or the other. So if purchasing company decides to take over these assets, that's fine. We will get purchase consideration from the purchasing company. If purchasing company doesn't take over some of the assets, then vendor company will be selling off or disposing of these assets on its own. So they may sell off the assets, get the money, or they may give these assets against some liability not taken over. But the end of the matter is that all assets except fictitious assets are to be realized, either directly by these being taken over by the purchasing company, or these will be sold by the liquidating company itself. And fictitious assets will be closed in the account of equity shareholders. Now the next term is all liabilities. Now the term all liability is a wider term. It includes all the liabilities payable to third party. So when you go through the liability side of the balance sheet, if any liability is there which is payable to the third party, which implies technically leaving aside the first heading, that is shareholders funds. So leaving aside that, rest of the things normally belong to third party. So all the liabilities payable to the third party are included in all liabilities. So this will include trade liabilities, that is creditors, bills payable, non-current loans and advances like debentures, other current liabilities like short-term loans, outstanding expenses, and various funds. Like sometimes the liabilities are included in the fund, like employees' deposits, workmen's profit sharing fund, superannuation fund, provident fund, pension fund. If you look at the names of these funds, they are given the name fund, but in reality these are our liabilities, like pension fund. Now what do we understand by pension fund? Pension fund basically implies that this fund is payable to the employees at the time of their retirement. So after the retirement, their pension will be given out of this. Gratuity fund. So these are funds, but these are actually the liabilities. So any liability payable towards employees will also be a part of all liabilities. Furthermore, it also includes three specific funds: contingency fund, employees insurance fund, and workmen's compensation fund. But to the extent of liabilities, because when we name these liabilities, just look at the name again, contingency fund. That means a fund being maintained for any contingent liability. So there is not a liability as such. Amount is not certain. So there may be some liability which is dependent on happening of certain event. That is why it is called contingent liability. Maybe a suit is pending in the court of law, so a fund has been maintained for the same. But these will be our liabilities only to the extent of the claim settled. If no liability is settled, there is no liability against these, then these will not be included in the term liability, but these will then become a part of profits. Likewise, workmen's compensation fund. This fund is usually maintained to give compensation to the employees in case of accidents or if they are prematurely retired. So this fund will be payable at that time. But if there is no claim against this fund, then this is not a liability. So remember, the payments which are sure, like pension, gratuity, superannuation, profit sharing, these are clear-cut liabilities. But if the amount is kept aside for the liabilities which are not certain, the amount is not certain, then only up to the amount of liabilities these will be taken as liabilities, and the remaining amount will be considered as profit. So if we are given contingency fund of say 50,000 and against this the liability of 20,000 has been settled. So out of 50,000, 20 is our liability and 30 is pure profit. Now next term is trade liabilities. Sometimes we are given in the question, say purchasing company decides to take over trade liabilities. So what is trade liabilities? Now trade means purchase and sale of goods, right? So trade liabilities will imply liabilities resulting from the trade, that is from the purchase of goods. Because when we sell goods, we get debtors. But when we buy goods, we get creditors and bills payable. So the trade liabilities will be liabilities included for purchase of goods. It includes trade payable, that is creditors and bills payable. So if we are given all liabilities, we will consider all liabilities payable to third party. If the company takes over only trade liabilities, it will take over creditors and bills payable. Now, in any given problem, we must remember that we are to settle all liabilities. That is, all liabilities must be paid off. So, if the purchasing company is taking over the liabilities, that is fine. It means these are settled. Now, these belong to purchasing company. They have taken over. But if some liabilities are not taken over by purchasing company, it will imply the liabilities shall have to be paid by the liquidating company. So, while taking up any practical question, we need to be sure about the settlement of assets and liabilities. Are these taken over? If yes, then fine. If not, then how to adjust them, how to settle them. So the whole settlement must be clear to us. Thank you.